Well, first of all, thank you very much. I was having some small bets over the lunchtime to see how many people would show up. Since I have Goiko speaking in a parallel room, it's always quite challenging to have so many people here. So thank you very much for being here. Um, 2 minutes about myself. So yes, I'm an agile coach. I'm a co-founder of Oikosofi, and I'm an author of this book. And the reason why I want to put it here is because right now this book has a Polish translation. So we thought about you guys, and Kate at some time told me that there is nothing in Polish about agile retrospectives. So I think this is might be a very good book for you. The book is paid, but send me an email and I make sure that you get a copy if you want. But please don't tell it to my co-author. Uh, I really believe in working for the community, so something this is I wanted to share with you guys. So why I'm here? So everything started with this small thing. So this is the book that I'm writing right now. Should be written January. So like my business partner Vasco Duarte likes to talk. I don't really like no estimation, but January should be a good date. So why I'm here in Warsaw this day? Last year I was here and I was talking exactly, giving a talk about this topic. And after many months of research and writing about this topic, with the help of these people, so these are some of the people that are involved in this project. So as you can see, not not very unknown people. So I have been able to get help of these people and come up with great ideas. And what I'm sharing here today, and actually this is the first time that I'm giving this talk, so thank you so much for having me here. I gave small parts of it, but this is the first time that I'm really giving the talk. And here, what I want to show is what I came up, what kind of conclusions did I come up with with this book. And this is basically the last part of my book that I want to share. Last year as well, some good feedback that I got. It said, yeah, your talk was very interesting, very polemic. It was always about management and challenging managers and all this performance evaluation, but it was very theoretical. So what can we do out of it? So I created this talk exactly to tackle that feedback. So I have several slides, and one slide after another one, it's about examples that you can take into your daily work and you can use tomorrow already in your company. So that's exactly how I put this presentation for you. So everything starts with Peter Zhang, right? So Peter Zhang talks a lot in his book, The Fifth Discipline, talks a lot about learning organizations. And learn organizations, or organizations only learn with the individuals. So how can we actually create an organization where we enable people to learn on the daily basis? This is not that difficult at all, even if we think about it. So how many of you actually are familiar with the term community of practices? Oh, okay, interesting. So community of practices, I explained, it's a bunch, let's say, a bunch of activities where people come together and sharing knowledge. There are different formats that I'm going to explain to you, but basically the baseline is people with a common interest come together to discuss about that topic and how to get better and how to learn about that topic. So one format of a community of practices can be, for example, a book club. And right now we have it in our company where I work nowadays in holiday check, that we every month we get together. We started with the Scrum Master, so I'm helping those guys. Every month we select a book, and then every one of us reads the book, and then we get together and start to brainstorm. Okay, what did we like about this book? What were the topics that we really think are interesting for us? And then we started to create hypotheses. How can we apply this knowledge in our companies, on our company specifically? And then with ideas that we take from the books, we create ideas to bring those ideas into the daily work. So this is one possibility that you can do already tomorrow when you go back to work. Lunch talks. So this is very common. So we have a lot of people working on the technical side, not on the technical side, but mainly on the technical side, creating a lot of innovation, a lot of cool stuff, new tools. A couple of months ago, we had a guy that thought, okay, our build process is crap, so let's create a new tool to help us to save a lot of time. And basically develop his own tool on the weekend. Then we create a launch talk where the guy, we order a couple of beers, couple of pizzas. Then he spread the knowledge, how he did it and how he did it over the weekend. And actually, a lot of people got a lot of other insights that were able to help them on the daily jobs to tackle other problems. Coaching dojos, coding dojos. This is a very, very interesting thing that we are ramping up right now. And basically, what we have, it's every month we bring a people together, or actually on the development side, every sprint we have a session for mob programming, where the whole team comes together and tackle one story at a time. But they work during a whole entire day, all the team around one single PC, and really trying to tackle the problem. Coding dojos, basically they select a challenge or some part of the code which is not very good, and they decide, okay, let's refactor this stuff. And together as a team, they start to refactor and then start to change a bit as a pair programming, and they change and change and change. We are doing the same with Scrum Masters, so coaching dojos, for example. We have two guys in front, one coaching the other, and some people on the back seeing what's going on. And then as every 10 minutes, we give feedback, okay, you can do this, you can improve that, this was not that good, this was not that great. So this is a great, great way to actually improve and learning with each other. So one thing that this is something that I want to ramp up, but still not able. So how many of you actually have this feeling that you get colleagues into onboarding, and basically all of us, we are very competent and we have a lot of knowledge, but sometimes we feel there is a lot of gaps. So some people are very strong in one thing, some people are very strong in other things, and there is a lack of they are not so aligned, so they have a lot of differences together, and you would like to get them together, like at least on the common base. So I believe you have this kind of issues. So what we want to do in our company is creating a kind of a small university where we will start with the agile part, like the Scrum, the Kanban, and so on, where we are going to do some small online training programs where everyone that joins the company goes through a onboarding program. So a lot of companies have an onboarding program, but this is a little bit more what we want to do. So we want really to do a small university, starting with, like I said, Scrum and Kanban, that allows people to join the company, take lessons, like a bit small internal Coursera. And I think we really believe this is the one of the ways to go. And I got this inspiration from one of my colleagues that works in Ibris in Germany. This guy doing a software academy. This is exactly what they are doing, and the results are awesome. So people are very eager to learn and to spread the knowledge that they have. Another thing that we started last month, which is very interesting. I think everyone or most of you know about this kind of events, and we are doing this basically in our company right now for a very specific case. So we started with a new stack, React stack, and there is a lot of people. We have people in Poznan, we have people in almost close to Zurich, and another in Munich. And each one of these sites have different expectations of quality, they have different knowledge, and so on, so on. So what we wanted to do, or started to plan, is we started to organize an open space where basically people come together around a common topic, and then basically they start to teach each other lessons. It's like a marketplace, skills marketplace, where people teach each other what they want to learn. And this is very good practices to kind of define a more or less the common understanding of what should be the level of quality, what should be the practices that we want to have in our company. So, who knows this person in this picture? Sorry? Personally, no, you cannot know it anymore. So, this guy is Deming. Deming is just the guy that was kicked out from US on the 40s or 50s and run away to Japan. So he was one of the big guys that helped Toyota to be what it is today. So he's one of the guys that helped to develop and make the PDCA cycle very popular. And this guy has on his book, which I highly recommend. This is the book, so please take a look into it. If you work in Agile, if you work in Lean, this is the book that you should read, or one of the books that you should read. And basically the guy has 14 management principles, and one of the principles, sixth one, basically tells you institute training on the job. So the first part that I gave this talk is just about people learning with each other, sharing knowledge, and so on, so on. But we as a manager, we have responsibility as well to help people to get training. So during the research that I did a lot of interviews with people, and I got some good practices from companies that abolish performance appraisals and provide very good training and specific training on the companies in order to substitute those performance appraisals. One of the trainings that they provide is about crucial conversations. So this is a very interesting approach. So they got these guys, everyone that joins that company, it's a company in Montreal, everyone that joins that company goes through this kind of training, crucial conversation. And this really, really helped those guys because basically before those trainings, they have a lot of conflicts. And now what the managers do is say basically, okay, you have the tools for it. So if you know how to manage the conflict, just go talk with your colleagues, solve the problems. If there's something very, very serious, then we come together and then we try to solve it. But until then, just solve your own problems because you have the tools for it. And the success was tremendous. The guy said the conflicts stopped almost, and the people are starting to create a very collaborative environment. Another company that I interviewed in Hamburg, in Germany, they have this rule. They provide feedback training to everyone that joins the company. And a lot of people think about feedback, and you think about feedback as providing feedback, but this is one of the most misconceptions that we have in our companies. Actually, feedback is very important to learn how to give feedback, but as well as to receive feedback. If you are not really trained to receive feedback, you will not really take the benefit out of it. So this is another very important thing that companies should start help and provide people with. Experimentation. How important experimentation is. And no one in our company, or most on our companies, try out stuff. Most of the stuff is done because some managers want, or it was always done like that. There is no this trial, error. So another company that I interviewed in US as well, those guys were really specific, giving training to people to really try out. Every time they want to do something, they have an hypothesis with the specific metrics, and then if they do not achieve, they stop and think about why they did not achieve that, and so on, so on. So they really teach people how to think, and they teach people to do some scientific approach. Another thing that I learned from my research is system thinking. It's very, very important to know about system thinking, but very few of us actually know it. So I really want to share a story for this specific topic. So when I was writing my first book, I interviewed a guy in Stockholm. That guy was brilliant, Henry. And he was working in the company, service provider company, on the 98. And at that time, basically, those guys, the only thing they would do black box projects for clients, for software clients. And at that time, they had so many bugs, the quality was not that great, so they decided, okay, let's try XP programming. It was in 98, 99. It was very in the earliest days. So they tried out, they did this XP programming, and the outcome was brilliant. So the software quality was awesome, no bugs whatsoever, and the clients were super, super happy. Then the financial results came, and you know what? It was very, very poor. And you know why? Because those guys were charging for bugs fixing. After the moment that they fixed the problems, they improved the quality, there was no bugs, and they could not charge anymore the clients. And this is a very small example that I want to provide as implementing a small part or improving a small part of the system, it's not enough to improve the whole system. And the last but not least, provide managers and people the importance of intrinsic motivation. What really drives people to come to work, why they want to come to work. That money excuse is not working anymore. A lot of people already know that this not work. So a lot of people talk about drive, Daniel Pink, but actually there's a very cool book as well, and most of the stuff that Daniel Pink talks about, it came from here. So as you can see, choice, competence, meaning of flows, and sense of progress. Progress is the only thing that is missing from there. So Daniel Pink took a lot of ideas from here and from other research. But Deming already told us that 95% of the problems are within the system. Only 5% of the problems are within the people. Until now, I only talk about people problem. So what can we do actually to start tackling those 95% of the system. It's very easy. Everyone talks about retrospectives. Like I said, now we even have a Polish version of the book for you. But the retrospectives are just a small part, or at least a lot of people use retrospectives only on the team level. How many of you actually do retrospectives on the organizational level? Okay, Jeff, Jeff. Okay, 6 people, 7, 8 out of this whole room. As you can see, there is a huge potential there, right? And it's not being utilized. So this is something that really an organization that wants to improve, that wants to go further, they really need to start thinking about how they work and how the organization works. But then we come up with these problems. We come up with these impediments, right? So team impediments are relatively easy. But if you have job retrospectives or retrospect on the organizational level, you'll come up with a lot of problems. So what do you do with these problems? Simple. Why not creating an organizational impediment board? This is exactly what we are doing in our company. So right now we are having a backlog of impediments where people can dump their problems there. So they are middle managers, they are team problems that they cannot be solved within the teams, any different problems. So we are ramping up, for example, the feedback wall. So we are putting a huge feedback in the kitchen where all the employees can put post-its about problems that the company has, and then we can put dot voting, and the most voted ones, they go to the board. And this tool seems very, very simple, but actually it's a very good tool because, as you know, middle managers struggle a lot on the agile transitions. They feel very insecure. Say, okay, what should I do now? I don't know anymore what's my jobs on. Having this tool, this is a fantastic tool because it's giving the way for managers, for middle managers, to become useful again. And basically, you can help them to tell them, say, your job now, on the theory, they say that agile manager is the guy to strive for a lean organization, but this is very theoretical. Now with this tool, we have a backlog of problems in the company where middle manager can go take ownership of these problems and start really to improve the organization. And this is very, very important because you will have all these managers, they are completely lost, and because they do not know what to do, they start managing people, and you know what the result will be. So now we have a tool that actually we can use to help managers to get the purpose of their job, and actually even more important, to help to improve the organization. So all the topics that go to this organizational improvement board, they are written as an hypothesis. It's a very scientific approach that everything what we do it with a purpose, and we do it because we want to solve a problem, and we know how to measure it. This is the format that we create for putting a topic on the improvement board. As you can see an example here, I don't know if you can see. Can you guys see that? It's cool? Okay. So basically, this is a very basic that it was the first thing that we did. So basically, we decided to create a board because we want to tackle organizational issues. And we will measure, which is a very crappy metric, I can tell. We measure about of number of problems that we solve per month. Or another one, for example, we in Munich, and sorry, this is my handwriting. No, my skill is not on the handwriting. We started a meetup, an agile meetup in Munich with the brand of our company. And our hypothesis is basically in Germany, we pay between 15 to 20,000 euros to headhunters to get us good developers. So why not starting a meetup where we could actually creating a good brand awareness and get good people on board and start to get people applying through that meetup. And basically, if you recruit 10 people, one person per meetup, you end up saving 150, 200K, and so on, so on, so on. So this is basically one of the ideas or some of the possibilities that you can do with this improvement board. But this is not enough, right? So we cannot do anything just dumping ideas on the improvement boards. We cannot improve the company if we do not know where we want to go. So one of the most important things that companies and senior managers do not understand is we need a vision. How many of you work in companies that actually have a very strong vision and you guys go to work and you know exactly what you need to do on your daily basis? Okay, not even one single hand, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, you see how sad this is, right? So usually it's improving revenue or whatever, which is very cool. We wake up every day in the morning. out of our bed to go to work to give money to somewhere else. Very inspiring. So, but it's not enough to have a vision in the company, right? The vision needs to come down to the organization, to the department. So the department vision needs to be connected to the big picture. It's what it was a little bit what Bjart said in the morning, right? You have these big things, and then it's kind of decomposed in the small things. And of course, you need to have the team goals aligned with the whole vision, and make sure that everything is aligned. But how can we keep track of all this stuff? This is very complex. Vision, goals, targets. How can we do it? So what we do in Holiday Check, we start the portfolio management solution. And basically this is not a very, it's more complex than actually what it is. And basically we have a vision which is not part of this picture, and then we have a strategy cycle. So every 6 months the senior managers come together and say, okay, what are you going to do for the next 6 months in order to achieve the vision that we want? And basically we have every month a kind of catch up concept cycle. It is something that we still have, but we want to get rid of it to be get more agile, and then sprints. And basically at the end, you have a potential shippable product. So what I want to be very clear, even if we have cycles here, does not mean that we take, for example, 1 month to release or whatever. So we have continuous delivery, continuous pipeline in place. So every time we want to release something, we can actually release something. A little bit more deep. So someone wants to take a picture? Okay, good. So this is a little bit how it works, right? Holiday Check vision, 6 months, epics, selective epics, 4 weeks and 2 weeks, and then we have the product out. Different way, epics, features, and then actually I put agile transformation because in our company, agile transformation, I have my own backlog with my team, so we actually do a lot of stuff on our own, but then we have business streams, and so on. So all the different backlogs that go to the backlog. And what does this create? This is the way that why I started this. This is very easy to start tracking. So if you have Holiday Check vision, then you have the investment team that I jumped, but it's the connection between epic, between feature, and between story. This is very, very, very powerful because now we have a tool that draws this kind of connection. Can you imagine you as a developer that you go to your own desk and basically you are coding, and you double click on the story and you have a relationship like this. And basically, if you have something like on the investment team say, we are doing this to generate 10 million, 20 million, 50 million, whatever, per year, the developer right there understand how his work is connected to the big picture and how his work actually it will help the company to generate a lot of money at the end of the day. Or, even more powerful, if the product owner comes here, right, and the product owner doesn't have a story that is connected through the whole chain, everyone has the power to ask, why are we doing this? How is this important for our business, and how is this important for our vision? And that starts very interesting conversations, right? So this is very, very powerful. This is an example, for example, what we have in our company. So these are our teams, and all the epics, all the features and stories, it's the next step that we will implement. And with that, you can track everything what's going on in the company, on the IT product. So this is really only for IT product. My vision and working with my boss will be to make it to include, so each lane of this is an IT software product development, and what I want to do is bringing marketing, finance, HR to all these layers, because as you know, marketing, finance, and so on, they have a lot of dependencies, and you can already see when the dependencies are not well managed, you see what happens. So actually we have horizontal teams, but in reality, this is how we should be setting up the teams. But this is very good, because now the C-level start to look to this, oh, maybe we should reorg the whole company, because this is not very useful at all. Okay, so I talked a lot, and how do you guys put everything together? How can we actually combine everything and make it in an organized way? Very easy. I did this for you. This is something that took me a couple of weeks to prepare for your talk, or for my talk here for you. But this is the result of all this presentation for you. So as you see, you have all the book clubs, Scrum Master community of practices, internal COPs. And this is interesting because this is internal input. Management can put input on the product backlog and improvement or impediment. External input, And this is very important for me. So I was able I was very pushy to make sure that we have internal input, management input, and external input, so that we are not alone in our own planet, not really looking what's going on. Then we have the improvement backlog, and then we have the hypothesis board that I showed you. And basically, from that, we get achievements, monthly achievements, because like I said in the beginning, it's very important to have this sense of progress. So if you have actually monthly achievements and communicate what you are achieving, it's very, very interesting. So everyone gets this feeling of progress. Learnings, what did we learn? So for each hypothesis, we try to really create a learning metrics, because when you do an hypothesis, for example, the meetup part, I said that we will save 100, 150. Okay, but at the end of the experiment, did we really save? So it was our hypothesis, good or not? And you can confirm it right here. So, where do we start? Very easy. You can come here, and the way how I did it, and sorry, of course, and then this connects to portfolio management, and then teams, and everything is connected. And here, I really missed that, retrospective, 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 retrospective. So you start to do retrospective in every single part of the organization that you work with. Where do you start? Like I said, it's very easy. This is a modular thing, so you can pick up this one, or you pick up this one, or pick up this one, or pick up this one, whatever. Just implement this to track the problems, and then start very, very small, very little. Provide the training that I said to all the people, start in a small department, start in a small organization, do this kind of stuff, and I'm pretty sure that you will achieve very good results. Thank you very much. This is what I had for you guys today.